Mixed feelings of fear and trembling and an unusual sense of peace engulfs a young maiden. She keeps her head bowed to the ground, unable to bring herself to look up and face the presence of a towering 12-foot tall, shadowy, strange being standing just by the entrance door. The metal door bends on their own accord, with all metal entities present suspended mid-air. A small, rounded, beautifully engraved coin moved towards the young maiden, whose hands were lifted on their own to receive and accept it. Silence engulfed the ambience of the surroundings as the majestic baritone voice resonates. Fear not, for you have been chosen. The power to rule resides within you. Go forth now, empowered by this divine appointment. These words were interrupted by Ayomide's curiosity to behold the face of this creature. In the heart of Ire-Ife, a land steeped in ancient mysticism and tradition, there lay a tale woven with threads of magic and destiny. Once every 560 years, the veil between realms would shimmer, and the land would be graced by the presence of the great Ogun, the Yoruba god of iron, in the form of a magical coin. Through the ages, the people of Ire-Ife whispered stories of this legendary coin, speaking in hushed tones of its arrival and the power it bestowed upon those deemed worthy. They spoke of mercy and vengeance entwined, for the coin was said to seek out the wicked, driving them into hiding, while showering blessings upon the righteous. It is whispered that 560 years has danced upon the wind since the mystical coin last graced our realm. The coin is said to crown the first entity it encountered as the new ruler of the land, thereby shaping the fate of the realm. Time passed. In the bustling market square, amidst the throng of merchants and traders stood Ayomide, pretty in face, and continuously holds that smiling face even when all hope seemed to be lost. She has spent 24 years in isolation, forbidding from participating in any form of festivity. Maidens her age are desperately warned not to mingle with her. Ayomide is banned from being anywhere close to the royals. Dressed in the most unlikely clothing, which can only be described in one word: rags. Her spirit unyielding despite the whispers of the crowd labeling her as Ojulowo Omoale, meaning a complete bastard. With determination burning bright in her eyes, she proclaimed to all who would listen that she has been visited by Ogun. The sacred coin now rested within her grasp. As her words echoed through the market, a hush fell over the bustling scene, followed by a sudden eruption of laughter. The laughter echoes because many believe that Ogun's visit is just a mere folklore and far from reality. Some question why Ogun would select an Ojulowo Omoale like Ayomide for a visit, while others perceive her action as mere attention-seeking antiques and entertainment for pennies and food. Ayomide's demand to see the king resounded through the square like a clarion call, reaching the ears of those who held power in the land. Inside the palace, where the laws of tradition held sways, Ayomide's presence was met with disdain, as it is forbidden for an outcast to have audience with the king without invitation. Prohibited from setting foot within his hallowed halls, Ayomide's plea for an audience with the king seemed destined to go unanswered as palace guard mounts barricade. In her dirty rag clothing, Ayomide kneels in front of the majestic palace gates, waiting on the king to show her mercy. As she kneels, the words which echoes from the coin resounds. For you have been chosen, power to rule resides within. Go forth now. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the village, a shadow loomed over the land in the form of Ogedengbe, the grandson of Omoni Ajanle Koko, a name synonymous with fear and oppression. Hearing of Ogun's visitation to Ayomide, a dark desire ignites within him, a hunger for power and dominion over the land. With schemes and deceits, Ogedengbe plotted to seize the coin for himself, seeing it as a means to ascend to the throne and bend the will of the people. If I can get the coin and kill the person claiming to have been visited by this spirit, I will become all-powerful. Ogedengbe thought to himself. Back in Ire-Ife, Ayomide's request to see the king was denied. One of the guards approached her, saying, "His Majesty orders that you leave the palace at once, or you will face his wrath." Ayomide kept her head bowed, as if pleading for mercy. Angrily, the palace guard walks up to her, drew his sword, and as he pointed it at her, an unprecedented force radiates from within her, causing the sword to shrink. Witnessing this, all other palace guards fled. Seeing this sudden departure, Ayomide quickly stood up and ran, unaware of what had caused the guards' unexpected behavior. Night had fallen, casting long shadows over the dilapidated abandoned kiosk where Ayomide slept. The silence was shattered as the metal door was suddenly yanked open. Ogedengbe, heavily armed, stormed in and seized Ayomide from the floor. He forcefully placed her on a chair, his grip tightening around her neck as he begins to strangle her. "Where is the coin?" His voice echoed off the walls. Struggling to breathe, "I said, where is the coin?" Ogedengbe repeated, his grip tightening further, managing to grasp out. I don't know. I don't have it." "Yes, you do," Ogedengbe insisted, fury lightening his eyes. "No, I don't." Ogedengbe pulled out a locally crafted knife, raising up his hand. "Do you know who I am?" He bellowed. "I am the great Ogedengbe, grandson of Omoni Ajanle Koko. My name strikes fear into hearts. For the last time, where is the coin?" As the tension in the room peaked, a sudden crack echoed through the air. Ogedengbe wailed around, eyes searching for the source of the noise. Another crack sounded, followed by the knife being wrenched from his hand. Suspended in mid-air, Ogedengbe struggled to control the blade, his face contoured with the effort of battling an invisible force. Ayomide watched in awe as Ogedengbe pushed her away, causing her to fall to the ground. In that moment, Ogedengbe's eyes fell upon a familiar symbol, etched into the skin of Ayomide's neck. The sight of it drained the fury from his body, leaving him stunned. As the floating metal objects clattered to the floor, Ayomide remained on the ground. Bewailed by the sudden change, she looked up to see Ogedengbe's expression has softened, his eyes filled with a strange mix of recognition and remorse. He knelt before her, his voice uncharacteristically gentle. "Where did you get that mark behind your neck?" he asked. Still trembling, Ayomide replied, My mother gave it to me before she died. She said it was my father, and that anyone with it is." Her voice broke as tears streamed down her cheek. The room was thick with the unspoken bond forming between them. Ogedengbe's voice trembled as he whispers, "You are my sister." Ayomide's tears flows freely now. Mingling with her confusion and relief, silence enveloped them. She stood up and walked away. Walked towards the entrance, paused for a bit to look back. Her eyes was full of tears and determination. Ayomide spoke. "For 24 years, I believed I was alone. I buried my mother in this very space. Banished from the palace, banished from the villages, banished from activities. For 24 years, I have survived by eating from waste and hunting. And now, you, the great Ogedengbe, are my brother. A heavy silence settled over the room. Ayomide's demeanor shifted from a frightening girl to a fierce, resolute woman. I will take my rightful place. I have been visited by the great Ogun. No one will stop me. No one can. No, not this time. As the days dwindled and the hours of reckoning drew near, the fate of the land hung in the balance, poised on the edge of chaos and salvation, the clash of destiny and desire. One truth remains certain. When Ogun's coin shows his vessel, the world would tremble beneath its weight, and the echoes of his judgment would resound through the edges. Would the king listen to Ayomide's tale of Ogun's visit? Would Ogedegbe abandon his dark desire for his newfound sister? Would they join force to claim what was rightfully theirs? Or would Ogun leave the land unchanged, counting the hours to a fate sealed long ago? Episode 2 holds the answer. Watch out. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. Thank you.